The first season finale of Black Mirror takes its protagonist Liam through a tortured hero's journey, in which his very quest is flawed. By seeking to know everything about and recapture the perceived happiness of his own past, he descends into an obsessive madness which drives away the very things he sought to protect. The first scene of the entire history of You foreshadows Liam's downfall by subtly signaling the disdain that his more forward-thinking superiors hold towards him. The use of a highly minimalistic mise-en-scène directs the viewer's attention mostly towards the body language of the performers, and allows for a few visual gags to punctuate the scene with great effectiveness, making the audience cringe on Liam's behalf as he's ridiculed by his appraisal interviewers. The first shot is of Liam's face reflected in the table between him and his interviewers, and quickly pans upward to show his actual face with a wood-paneled wall behind him. The shot is a medium close-up showing the entirety of Liam's face, but not so close as to overly dramatize his expressions. His hair is well-groomed, his face shaven, and he wears a suit, all indications of putting on a professional appearance. However, his expression is slightly strained, possibly betraying his nervousness. With the wall behind him, he is backed into a corner, and, as a more subtle element of the mise-en-scène, the wood grain of the panel behind him runs vertically, forming dark lines which seem to pull him downwards. This same shot, minus the opening pan, is repeated several times throughout the scene so we get to consistently see the emotions Liam's face betrays. Because the cinematography is so simple here, Liam's facial expressions are allowed to speak volumes. Next, we will be introduced to the first interviewer. His relaxed posture and bemused demeanor provide a strong counterpoint to Liam, creating the unbalanced power dynamic which the entire scene strives to express. Sitting opposite Liam, the interviewers are all framed by a large window spanning the entire wall. They are displayed in medium shots rather than close-ups or medium close-ups. This combination of cinematography with mise-en-scène portrays the interviewers as free and in control, as they are neither backed into a corner nor placed under the same degree of visual scrutiny by the camera. Furthermore, the interviewers' performances are much more dynamic than Liam's because they have the space to stand and move as desired, such as to grab 2 more beer bottles, a quick visual gag with clear implications for Liam's performance in the interview. Shit sinks, but also cream floats, is how the first interviewer illustrates the purpose of appraising the employees. 2 shots in the scene play with deep space and deep focus to spell doom for Liam in accordance with those words. From the perspective of an extreme long shot, we see Liam at less than half the size of his interviewers, establishing a dramatic hierarchy of scale, while visually Liam sinks into the back of the frame, while his interviewers float like cream to the foreground. The composition of the shot is also unbalanced to the right, giving the interviewers even more visual weight. In the second instance of the extreme long shot, right before the scene ends, Liam's head is literally bowed as he stands up, as if to admit shame and deference. In 2 shots, we see Liam in close-up from a profile perspective. The unbalanced composition weighted to the left serves to isolate Liam in the frame and highlight the unnaturally expansive space between him and his interviewers. This camera angle also allows us to notice the bobbing of his Adam's apple when he visibly gulps out of dread. The other 2 interviewers, not taking the lead, initially appear to have more patience and respect for Liam. The costume of the woman on the left signals more rigid professionalism because it's more tight than any of the men's suits without being revealing, and her collar appears stiff and upright. She employs a body language of active and sincere engagement in the first frame pictured above, leaning forward while looking directly at Liam and holding a pen in her hand to take notes with. As the scene progresses, even the woman becomes as derogatory as the other interviewers. In the center frame, she explains the concept to Liam while using enunciated hand gestures, reminiscent of a kindergarten teacher, and in the frame pictured on the right, she actually breaks down and snorts in laughter, a complete reversal of the seriousness she showed in the beginning. The director of this scene has effectively minimized the cinematography along with most aspects of the mise-en-scène, except for the performers themselves, allowing the audience to follow the development of their short but sweet performances and gather all they need to know about this interview just by watching the proceedings.